This post-match report is proudly brought to you by Complete Sports Management, more footy, less admin, and Stat Guru, when numbers matter.
Welcome to Complete Sports Management's post-match coverage of Ivanhoe versus Doncaster Colts. I'm here with Doncaster coach John Speziotis. John, a very good win for Doncaster today. How pleased were you with the team's performance over the four quarters?
Well, I'm very pleased with the four-quarter performance because I can honestly say it's probably our first four-quarter performance of the year. So to see the boys perform the way they performed over the the 80-minute period was really pleasing.
The team looked better in transition play, getting the ball from defence to attack and using the wings and going through the middle of the ground. Is that something that you worked on during the week?
It's something we've worked on probably for 4 or 5 weeks, and that's what you said, spot on. It's just we wanted to try and get the mindset of the boys in that once we get the ball and move it quickly. You know, Art can go and get that ball inside through the 45 or down the line, but just get into the one-on-one contest rather than kick into congestion and being predictable as we've been the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, no, really pleasing with the way the boys performed today.
You came out in that third quarter with really quickly put on a lot of goals in the opening stages of second half, particularly through Pat Rodwell up forward. He was a really dangerous player up forward, marking everything that came his way. How did you see his performance over the whole game, but particularly that opening stage of the third quarter?
He's the ball delivery, got to mention the ball delivery, and I think Geordie Hatwell's delivery inside 50 was exceptional, and Paddy just finished off the good work from the boys up the ground, which was really pleasing, and that was our message at half time. Get the ball and move it in quickly, and we'll get the results, and yeah, fortunately that's the way it worked out, which was good.
And just finally, how would you rate the opening month of Doncaster Colts footy? 2 wins, 2 losses, even win-loss, but how would you rate it?
I'd probably rate about a 5 or 6 out of 10 on our first 4 weeks. And we've just got to get better over a 4-quarter period. You know, we have drop-offs, and when we have drop-offs there, our drop-offs are for 15 minutes, and you can't afford to have drop-offs for 15 minutes at this level. You've just got to be better for the whole 80-minute period. And that's what we're working on, and hopefully we'll just get better. But it's a learning curve for these boys, and they're getting better week by week, which is pleasing.
Thanks very much, John. Okay, next we'll move on to Nikhil, who's with Ivanhoe Football Club.
This is Nikhil from Ivanhoe Park, and I'm with Frank, the head coach of Ivanhoe. Frank, a tough loss, but it was a much improved performance from the last week maybe. So what did you make of the performance today by the players?
Yeah, I think our performance was pretty competitive for 3 quarters. They got us in the third quarter there and probably the start of the fourth quarter. Number 15 for them just tore us shreds off us. And so, yeah, it was overall better than last week, but the result's still the same.
Yeah, but a couple of players did stand out, Vivian and even Hamish. They played really well, put in a good number of goals. I think both had 2 apiece. So it was overall a much better performance by the team, and especially those 2. What did you make of the performance from those 2 players?
Oh, fantastic. Like Hamish, you can never fault his leadership on the ground. He's always first at the ball, in and under. Like, he's just fantastic, just, great leader of the football club. And Vivian's just always creating up forward too. He's done that for many a year down here, and just has a great goal sense about him and can find the ball and create something. So both great players.
The third quarter, as you mentioned, they were just too clinical in the start of the third quarter, and even your team, they failed to score a single goal in the third quarter. That kind of hampered your chances in the match, didn't it?
Absolutely. They beat us to the football, pure and simply in the third quarter. They had control of the football, and we were just chasing them all quarter. So, yeah, they really tore us apart in that third quarter, and that was a game.
So, even though the result didn't go your way, but there might be some positives which you might be taking ahead into the season, maybe?
Oh, look, I mean, we know that we've still got a lot of talent to come back in this side, so that's always, inspiring to the rest of the group. The way we finished off that game there, I was pleased we didn't drop our heads and sort of finished off with the last 3 or 4 goals. So, made it a little bit more pleasant on the scoreboard, I suppose. But overall, look, there's always positives. There's some great, leaders out there. Stan was fantastic for us. Young Jesse Wilson was great. So, But look, full credit to Doncaster. They were a good team, well disciplined, hit their targets well, which we couldn't do.
So this is Nikhil from Ivanhoe Park, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
This has been another Complete Sports Management production.